A man is out on his first date with a woman who is sex mad. On the way home, she lures him into the park and urges him to make love to her time and time again. Eventually, he's so knackered. He tells her he's just going to walk around and have a quiet smoke. As he goes so, he bumps into a man coming home from the pub, and he gets a great idea. "Listen, mate," he says. "My girlfriend over there is so hot. She's worn me out. If I give you my gold watch, will you take over for me for a while?" The man agrees and disappears into the dark undergrowth. 5 minutes go by when suddenly the park ranger appears and shines his torch on the passionate couple. "Now what have we here?" he says. "Just making love to my wife," comes the reply. "Well, can't you do that at home?" "But I didn't know it was my wife until you shone the torch on us." In a train car, there was an Englishman, a Frenchman, a spectacular-looking blonde, and lady. After several minutes, the train happened to pass through a dark tunnel, and the unmistakable sound of the slap was heard. When they left the tunnel, the Frenchman had a big red slap mark on his cheek. The blonde thought that French son of a bitch wanted to touch me and must have put his hand on the lady by mistake, who in turn must have slapped his face. The large lady thought that dirty old Frenchman laid his hands on the blonde and she smacked him. The Frenchman thought that Englishman put his hand on the blonde and she slapped me by mistake. The Englishman thought, "I hope there's another tunnel soon so I can smack that French twat again." A new farmer buys several sheep hoping to breed them. After several weeks, he notices that one of the sheep are getting pregnant and calls a vet for help. The vet tells him that he should try artificial insemination. The farmer doesn't have the slightest idea what this means, but not wanting to display his ignorance, only asks the vet how he will know when the sheep are pregnant. The vet tells him that they will stop standing around and will lie down and wallow in the grass when they are pregnant. The farmer hangs up and gives it some thought. He comes to the conclusion that artificial insemination means he has to impregnate the sheep. So he loads the sheep into his truck, drives them out into the woods, screws them all, brings them back and goes to bed. Next morning, he wakes and looks out at the sheep, seeing that they are all still standing around. He deduced that the first try didn't take and loads them in the truck again. He drives them out to the woods, screws each sheep twice for good measure, brings them back and goes to bed. Next morning, he wakes to find the sheep still just standing around. "One more try," he tells himself, and proceeds to load them up and drive them out to the woods. He spends all day sheep screwing and upon returning home falls exhausted into bed. The next morning, he cannot even raise himself from the bed to look at the sheep. He asks his wife to look out and tell them if the sheep are lying on the grass. "No," she says, "they're all in the truck and one of them is beeping the horn."